So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Casper. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Casper, and today I'm going to be talking about our fixed fee macro recruitment service. So if you have any questions, contact us at info@opportunity.to. And to start it off, this service starts at 21,000 Hong Kong dollars per month, and depending on the size of your business, you may want to actually double up or triple up on that actual cost per month. So what does that cost in international prices? So that would be 3,000 euros, 3,000 pounds, 3,300 US dollars, and 4,000 Canadian dollars for a ballpark figure. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of custom type options that will be discussed upon. So the service best suits your needs. So these prices will modulate. So this is just a ballpark figure. Now, I have the authority to speak about this subject because I've been directly exposed to hundreds of thousands of job applications and the data behind it by running a job search application. I've seen what it takes to actually get people hired. So I've seen successful CVs, I've seen unsuccessful CVs from an unbiased third-party perspective, which is very unlikely for almost everyone in the industry, because most people who go to observe what actually gets hired, they're using their own biases to find out what people get hired with. So because they will justify their own hiring choices, they in fact cannot, they're somewhat blinded to improving any perceptions that they may have of what actually makes a good quality candidate. The current structure of hiring functions is one of minimized risk and opinion, and is biased to not offending the hiring manager and client. So, for example, if you're a recruiter, there's a tendency to use the simple three. So what does this actually mean? So you use one terrific client, one terrific employee, right? That might want a little bit too much money. You show the middle of the road option, which is pretty good and not expensive, and then you show someone who's absolutely terrible at the same cost. And so for a lot of companies, they'll just go with the middle of the road. But because of this, a lot of the recruitment companies, they actually design their hiring in that manner. Well, they actually presented it in that manner to simplify the lives of the client. They in fact are delivering maybe not entirely the most appropriate employee into their business, and so it's very difficult to speak about the tangible, because when you are actually making a choice, there are a lot of intangibles that cannot be actually perceived by a human being. And one of those being is actual the eyeballing of what actually makes up the makeup of an individual, and the performance in the interview. Interview performance and workplace performance are completely different. And individuals who do have the talent to interview typically will perform, will typically get the job. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be able to function in that capacity, and they may have issues of self-confidence, which they may downplay their actual abilities, or they may not even address them. So it's very difficult for us to actually assume someone's abilities, and this is why psychometric testing is one of the, in my opinion, Okay, not only my opinion, but in my opinion, I think is what should be the greatest focus into actually hiring individuals. Though, because this is a recruiter type service, this will be tailored to your needs. But of course, we do emphasize psychometric analysis and to find out what actually makes up the being of a person, which is very important. You know, it's not just about competency, because competency cannot be analyzed completely within the framework of a resume and an interview. Some of this work has to be rendered, and there's a tendency for I think the number is 43%. 43% of people are not entirely honest with what they write on their resume, so they actually balloon and inflate their abilities. So the most profitable companies in the world have profits in many multiples of the median salary within their organizations. So Google, their profit per employees is from $300,000 US to $400,000 US dollars. Apple's from $400,000 US dollars to $500,000 US dollars. And now these companies, they make tremendous amounts of cash. Now the way that they hire, they recruit, and their hiring philosophy is very unique, and it's been refined over quite a long period of time. Now these companies have an ability to overhire because they are so profitable, but they do have but not only that, it's because they're technology companies, they've done a deep analysis of which hires have actually performed exceptionally well within their companies, and they found that those that were not so, how shall I say, easily adopted or easily recommended